What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're covering some more r/am I, the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, of course. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. Now, just a huge thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for taking the times out of your days to be here. It's absolutely incredible, and you are absolutely amazing for that, so do not forget that. But yesterday over on YouTube, we had a couple of new members. We had Sandra Copenhaver, Mossy, and Army of Freaks. Thank you so much for what you do for me and for joining us. It really does mean the world to me. You're absolutely amazing for what you do. And with that being said, let's just crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. Now, our first story comes from Routine Junket 1040. Am I the arsehole for selling my family home because my pregnant sister-in-law ate my dinner? I know, shitty title, but I'm in a rush to get to work, so excuse my grammar. Also, I want to point out that me and my brother have two different fathers. I, 19 female, lost my father last year to cancer. He left me 90% of his stuff, including the family home that was left to him by his dad, and has been in their family for over 100 years. My brother, 34, and my dad didn't have a relationship, but he did leave him 10k. My mum was pissed at the will reading, but since she got 10k, she couldn't do anything about it. For the past year, me and her live okay together. She went on acting like it was her house, like before, which I had no problem with till May. My brother and his girlfriend 30 moved in, without even asking me. They're messy, entitled, and rude. I told them in July I want them out by September, because they don't pay for anything, nor wash a dish. In August, they announced that they were pregnant, and my sister-in-law smugly said, "Guess we won't be moving out now." It didn't go down well, but when I told them I wanted them out, my mum and brother basically laughed in my face. Well, the past few months have been hell. They've become worse than before, and my mum enables it, then demands me to treat my sister-in-law like a princess because she's pregnant. I once had to wait outside McDonald's till they opened to get her a McMuffin. Well, here's where I may be the arsehole, because my sister-in-law is pregnant. She eats everything, like the cupcakes my friend made me for my birthday. She ate all 6, and I didn't even get to try them. I can't even make my lunch the night before, because when I go to get it, it will be gone, and she'll have a smug look on her face while rubbing her belly, then laugh and say, "I couldn't help myself, blame the baby." If I put stuff in my room, my mum will open the door with the spare key. Sister-in-law can go through my mini fridge. Well, a week ago, I was running late to college, and I didn't have time for my breakfast or to make lunch, and had to go to work straight after. So all I had all day was a bar of chocolate. When I got home, I was starving. I made myself dinner, and while it was cooling down, I went to use the bathroom. I must have been there 10 minutes at most. By the time I came out, she had 70% of my dinner ate, and I literally lost my shit. Of course she started crying. My mum and brother started screaming at me for making her cry, making excuses like how she couldn't help it, and it was my fault for leaving food around her. Well, I had had enough. I told them to get out just like before. I got mocked, but here's the thing. Back in October, my uncle offered me a life-changing amount of money for the house. I called him up crying a few days ago, explaining the situation. He said he'd buy the house, but he would evict my mum and brother. They, of course, didn't take it too well. I've had to stay with a friend. I've been receiving texts. I'm being tagged in multiple posts on social media. I'm starting to think I'm a bad person now. So am I the arsehole for making my mum and brother homeless? Edit, wow, I expected a few comments, but wow. So I'm on a break, so I'll address some things. Some of your roasts are hilarious. I honestly deserve it at how bad my grammar is. But I was walking to work and declining calls from my mum while making this post. I almost said fuck it and didn't post. If I sell the house to my uncle, I will lose 100k, but he's always been good to me, and it's one of those situations where I'd sleep better knowing it's gone to someone in my dad's family. My mum told me because of my age, I wouldn't be taken seriously if I tried to evict them. If I evict them and continue to live in the house along with the high financial costs, I don't think they'd ever let me live in peace. My mum has health issues, and my sister-in-law will move in with her parents. They won't allow my brother, so I'd be splitting up a young family in my mum's words. Guys, I'm actually crying. I've never been told before I'm proud of you, and the fact I've seen a thread of comments telling that means the absolute world to me. Edit 2, I plan to meet a lawyer and will update you as soon as I have news. Also, since people are curious, the house is worth 2.5 million. It's in the heart of London. What? In London? You got a house in the middle of London? Can I come move in, please? And let's face it, in this story, it's not just about the the sister-in-law taking the food, that's just showing the level of disrespect she has for you, and the whole family has for you, that they're just walking all over you because you're young. They think they can do that in your house. Hell no, I think I'd be doing exactly the same as you. And you know, when you said, oh, you might lose 100k if you sold it to your uncle, and I thought, oh yeah, bloody hell, that might not be worth it. But then you said the house is worth 2.5 million. 100k in that amount, while it's a big amount of money, is like, yeah, to rid yourself of all the stress is absolutely worth it. So not the arsehole in my opinion. But Olivia Kane says, not the arsehole. They stomped all over you, man. They didn't treat you like family, so why would you treat them that way? You're fine, mate. Your uncle is the one evicting you. Jareth47 says, not the arsehole at all, and I'm very proud of you for standing up for yourself. Network Confidential says, not the arsehole. I'd sell the house, let them get evicted, and have a smug look on my face when they're out on the street. Family means nothing if they treat you like trash. Absolutely true. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? And imagine yourself as OP. How would you deal with it? How would you kick them out on the street even though she's pregnant, or would you find a different way? Let us know in the comments below. Now we have this small little interlude. I'd just like to say thank you yesterday. Yesterday we did a premiere on the channel and it was absolutely amazing talking to you guys live, and you know, it was absolutely fantastic and I loved it to bits. Reading my story yesterday was quite tough in some places, and I love to read these stories. I love to share these stories because they're so, you know, we all go through these experiences, and to relate with you guys is absolutely amazing. And I would love to do another one for you at some point in the future if you want it, of course. So please let me know in the comments below about that as well, because I don't want to, you know, force these stories onto you guys if you don't find them relatable, or they're too triggering sometimes. So let me know about that. Thank you. And our next story is from Just Call Me Phil 35. Am I the arsehole for not telling people my missing cousin is staying with me right away? It is in the middle of the night and my phone won't stop ringing because of my family. To try and keep this short, my cousin Jake just got outed about 4 or 5 days before his 18th birthday in the summer. His parents, my aunt and uncle made arrangements for him to be sent to one of those awful camps that they could claim could cure him. A kid in his community was forced to go and came back and was clearly not well, so Jake didn't want to go. Jake ran away from home and jumped from one family house to another. His folks didn't file a missing person report because they didn't want to look bad to their neighbours. They just told him that he went to their camp willingly. He disappeared in the middle of October and turned up in my city a week later. After making sure he was safe to bring home, my wife and I allowed him to stay. He didn't want me to tell the rest of the family for a while because those people at the camp keep showing up to take him. I made sure to talk to a lawyer who assured Jake that they cannot take him. 3 days ago, he told his parents he was here. A few hours later, those damn camp people showed up, but they were unable to take him. My family has been blowing up my phone for the last 2 days, angry that I didn't tell someone sooner. Well, Jake didn't feel safe yet, and still doesn't. I wanted to make sure he was ready. Still, even those that want to protect Jake is upset with me for hiding him. Am I the arsehole for not telling anyone that he is here until he was ready? Now there is a little update to this post as well, which I will read after the comments, of course, because I think that's the best time to do it with this particular story. And this is one of those situations where it's an obvious not the arsehole in my opinion, and I can't see any other way around it. If people think that being gay is something that needs to be cured, that's their problem, and they're, you know, absolute arseholes and don't deserve to be anywhere near you. Screw those people. They're just totally, they're wrong. That's all there is to it. They're wrong. And don't they call that sort of thing? And I think I'm pretty sure it's in the UK too, but I've never heard of it here. But I've definitely seen it on TV, like in the US and things. I'm not just saying, oh, this is all down to the US, you know, this is all over the world, this sort of thing happens. But don't they call it conversion therapy or something like that? And I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about these things, but them turning up to your house, what do they do? Do they just take him? Can they do that? Obviously they can't in this situation, but it sounded like they were just going to almost kidnap him in a way. Absolutely crazy. But Sliced Nugget says, not the arsehole, but weird that you think you'd be an arsehole for protecting him from those fucked up conversion camps. Keep protecting him. Stick to it, man. Make sure he knows he has a safe place to stay with you. And Cypher Max says, not the arsehole, fuck those people, fuck homophobes that think being gay is something that needs to be cured in the first place, fuck people that think parents have any right to do that to their kids, good on you for protecting him. And Nova Nardis replies to this end, not to get all political, but I'm gonna. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that conversion therapy is somehow protected by the First Amendment. I can't even roll my eyes hard enough. It should be called what it is: torture. God, so this is actually a protected thing as well. Do you not find that insane? That is absolutely crazy. Oh, getting tears thinking about people have to go through that sort of shit. Corn Nugget says, you need to call the police since the camp are trying to kidnap him. They know he doesn't want to go but keep showing up. He needs a restraining order on these people. This is very sinister. If the camp people show up again, call the police, take pictures, document everything. Ask Jake to write down every time they come to get him and if there's other witnesses. You're not the arsehole. In fact, you're a saint to protect Jake from his clearly dangerous family and even took him to a lawyer. Jake didn't and doesn't feel safe because he clearly isn't. There's a cultish organisation following him and trying to kidnap him. Jake clearly can't trust the rest of the family, so keep supporting him until he gets on his feet. And that's another point. How far does Jake have to go here? I mean, does he have to watch his back when he goes out alone to a supermarket because these people might be following him? That could be... Oh, that's really worrying, isn't it? And Nanny Bismo says, not the arsehole. If those camp people show back up, tell them they'll be charged with trespassing if you ever see their asses on your property again. Now, what would you do in this situation if you was the person looking after Jake? How could you protect him? Because, you know, he's going to have to go out at some point. If it's right that these people do wait around, it sounds like they wait on corners and stuff. I've almost got this mental image in my head of these people sitting in the van waiting to grab him, you know. That's what it seems to me. I don't know if that's the case, you know. My imagination is wild, right? So... So I could be completely wrong there. But if you have any knowledge of this sort of stuff, let me know in the comments below. I'll be fascinated to read it. And here is the edit. Edit. Wow. Thank you for all the awards. I don't deserve them, but thanks. Since I'm drinking coffee and slowly going through the comments, I thought I should say a few things. First off, while I figured I wasn't the arsehole for hiding him from my more narrow-minded family, it was those that really wanted to help Jake that made me feel guilty. They were all scared out of their minds and wanted the peace to know he was okay. I felt bad for not telling them, though I am sure they wouldn't have turned him in. I felt bad because we were working on keeping him safe. Also, we got a lawyer who got the police on the lookout for those camp people in case they try anything. Jake is not going out alone until we are sure he is safe. Third, we are looking on how to get his paperwork, like his birth certificate, because no way he trusts his parents just to hand them over. My granny-in-law is talking to some people that could help. Fourth, Jake says hello and thank you. Oh, and we're Catholic, not Christian. We're our own special type of jackasses. Edit once again. Okay, you're right about the Catholic/Christian thing. I was raised to split hairs. I apologise. Now, our next story is from Vitali Echo. Am I the ass for refusing to take a slightly late assignment from a student that has a history of disrespecting me? So here's the situation. I'm teaching a college class, and this semester I asked the students to do little assignments on a regular basis. They must upload 5 short assignments in total on the online platform, obviously before we talk about the documents in class. To that end, I programmed the platform to accept assignments until the beginning of the class every week, 10 AM. After this deadline, they can't upload it anymore, and I insisted since day one that I would not accept any email sent assignment. Now the student we're talking about, let's call her B, is the kind of student that doesn't really participate in class, but lets you know she's bored, which I can't do anything about and is in no way reprehensible, but it means that I might be a little biased against her because of this attitude. We had to switch to online teaching mid-semester after a normal beginning. I use Zoom for my classes but without the camera, and since the students seem very tired and distressed by the whole situation and have a very busy schedule on Fridays, I try whenever possible to end the class a little sooner so they can rest. When I say the class is over, students disconnect from Zoom, but I stay online in case they have any questions. For the last few weeks, every single time it happened, B stayed online but didn't answer when I asked if she had questions, meaning she wasn't around during the class and just left Zoom open to make me believe she was. At this point, I'm a little angry that she even thinks she can get away with this, but then again, I can't do a lot about it. I don't keep track of their attendance because a lot of them have issues with their computers or internet. Fast forward to this morning, B is there and she tells me she wasn't able to upload her assignment sooner, but she will send it to me by email. It's the first time she speaks during an online class. I answer that I'm sorry, but I won't take any assignments by email. I feel like I have the right to handle the situation I want, since B is the one not playing by the rules, but I think I might have answered differently if any other student was in the same situation. I must confess that's a little bit satisfying to say no to her, given her past attitude. So Reddit, am I the arsehole here? In most situations during these sort of stories, I would generally say, she was late putting the assignment in. That's her problem. That's her problem, right? So you shouldn't have to accept that. People need to learn in their lives that they need to be on time. Work won't bend over backwards for you most of the time. If you're late all the time, you usually get reprimanded if you're not on time. It's just the way of the world, right? But people do make mistakes, don't get me wrong. But in this particular story, you said you were biased because, of a behavior, which would make you the arsehole. If you treat every other student that way, but you wouldn't do that for B just because of her sort of attitude, then I'm afraid that would make you the arsehole, or an everyone sucks, in my opinion. I may be wrong in that, maybe. Sinner MN Girl says, your evidence of her wrongdoing is pretty weak. I'm not saying you're wrong, but you haven't ever confronted her about it. You haven't said whether any other good student has submitted a late assignment, so I can't determine the standard. I get that you won't accept email, but software doesn't always work. It also seems that the assignment is genuinely late. She is reporting the problem in class, which means it's technically minutes late. It would be more measured to have a discussion about her behaviour and set limits, than refuse an assignment. I had teachers that took a hard line on some minor points, and I lost respect for them. You're the arsehole. And OP did reply to this one saying, I agree that I don't really have evidence of her doing anything wrong besides turning her assignment in 10 to 15 minutes late and interrupting the class about it. I also agree that it's petty on my part to take a hard line on this minor thing because of her past attitude. I might try to confront the student next time. Thanks for your judgment. Zwergschnauzer says, you're the arsehole. You have admitted that you are biased against B. Is it possible that her behaviour is due to computer issues? As long as she's still able to get the assignment to you on time, I think you're being overly pedantic if you refuse receiving it via email. And OP said on that edit, for context, this assignment has only impacted on 1/5 of one of the 3 grades, so it won't be a big penalty to her cursus. I'm also in Europe where college is way cheaper than in the US. Nobody contracts big debts to be there, so maybe the implications are a little bit different. Also, sorry for my English is a second language. Thank you for your help. Edit, thank you all for taking the time to give me your opinion and advice about this. It's time to sleep in my part of the world, so I won't be able to answer info requests for a few hours. There is no consensus yet about if I'm the arsehole or not in this scenario, but some of your insights leaning both ways were very interesting and helpful, so thank you again. B has emailed her assignment anyways, despite me saying no earlier. I'm still undecided about what to do with it, but I'll make sure to take your constructive comments into account. Now, what would you do in this situation? Put yourself in OP's shoes, and you knew you was biased towards this person and would have accepted anyone else's, and possible technical issues, and with the virus going around, everyone's stressed. Would you take B's assignment in, or wouldn't you, and say, no, she's late, this is her problem? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for not allowing my girlfriend to sleep in my new bed after she switched rooms? My girlfriend has always said that I disturb her in the mornings. I sometimes say she sleeps in too long. How does anyone expect the house to be silent after 2 PM? One day a futon is delivered and she moves into the guest room. She fully decorates and everything. So I bought a new huge king size bed and decorate what used to be our room with stuff that I like. The thing is when she got the futon she made a huge deal about us sleeping separate and me respecting her and her sleep routine. To me, she's overreacting, and I told her I don't really like the idea of us sleeping separate and would like to come up with a different idea. She wouldn't budge. She would not allow me to sleep on her futon. Now I have upgraded the bed and did my own decorations. She has tried to sleep in my new bed, and I declined her. Now she's angry and saying I'm being spiteful. Am I the arsehole? Now, I personally know some friends that have they have different beds to sleep in at night because, one snores or something like that, and they've tried to find solutions to the snoring and it doesn't work. Or they've got dogs too, and the dogs all sleep in the bed and one person doesn't like it, and it just ruins their sleep routine, which I can totally understand. People do have these different sleep routines and you do need a full good night's sleep. So having a separate bed is totally plausible. I don't think a relationship is built around a bed. Well, maybe sometimes, but hey. But I personally think that sleep routine is super important, and if it helps the relationship, then so be it. But in this particular situation, you two are just being petty, man. And I guess it kind of comes down to timings. Was you planning on getting this king size bed anyway, or did you just do it despite the fact that she's getting a futon in another room and you thought, well, I'll show her, I'm going to get the king size bed in here. And of course, then she's definitely going to turn around and go, oh, there's more space there now, so we can sleep together kind of thing. That's what it almost sounds like to me, but I might be totally wrong. But in this particular one, I'm going to go with an everyone sucks here. But Vincent E says, she made her bed so she must lay in it. Princess Pancake says, everyone sucks here. Why you're even together? Yikes. Hamhead said, everyone sucks here. You should be wanting her back in your bed, no? And she makes no sense. The whole relationship sounds like it's on the skids. Oh, what is the skids? I've heard that often. I love it. OP replies saying, lol, I was thinking that. I just don't understand wanting to sleep separate, but I've read about other people doing it on Reddit successfully. I don't know. And Lonely God says, are you being spiteful? Like, have you changed your mind and now think, I totally want a relationship with a separate bedrooms. We should move someplace with 2 equally sized rooms for this purpose. My girlfriend is a genius and I should never have doubted the wisdom of her plan. Or are you thinking, now the shoe is on the other foot, I can punish her for not doing what I wanted in the first place? One of those things is spiteful and also super immature. Also, nose meet face, like if you don't want to sleep apart, as you said you didn't, what are you getting out of this? P.S. My partner and I sleep separate. I love it. I go into their room in the morning to cuddle. Sleeping separate doesn't mean, for me, that relationship is devoid of physical intimacy or affection. I just snore. But that's a thing we do because it makes us happy, not because it makes one of us mad. Now, what do any of you sleep in separate bedrooms to your partner, and how has it caused any conflict with you, or is it perfect now? To me, in some ways, it sounds perfect because sometimes, you know, I'm someone who like cooks in bed. I get really hot in bed, and I like having the covers off, window open, fan on, like most times. Even in like the winter, I like being cold in bed. And I can imagine other people are like, nah, I like to be totally warm. So a separate bed scenario would be perfect for that. And I'm, as I said, I'm someone who thinks that a sleep routine is so important. It helps you the next day. It helps you get through life. You need sleep. That's all I'm saying. But what would you do in this situation? Do you think this situation is spiteful or not? Let me know in the comments below. Now, once again, guys, thank you for being here, to have taken the time out of your day for being here, to listen to these stories, to get involved, to be on the podcast, to get involved in the Christmas competition, to be on Discord, to be everywhere supporting this channel. It is absolutely amazing of you. You are fantastic for doing so, and do not forget that. Thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.